Hey, how you doing, guys? This is the project timeline. Hi. um, my name is Jose, and people in the group is Maddie Luker, Haley Whitehead, and your senior. Woo! Number one, Jose. All right, so let me get it. Let's get it. Okay. May 4th, 1950. The baby bombs begin. The baby boomers, should I say. I'm sorry, the baby bombs begin. Boomers. January 31st, 1950. President Truman approves. June 25th, 1950. The Korean War starts. May 4th, 1950. The forced organ transplant kidney is delivered. May 4th, 1951. Transcontinental happens. February 6th, 1952. King George VI, I don't know if that's the fifth or something, but he's dead. May 4th, 1952. Immigration and Naturalization Act is passed. 1953. DNA is discovered on May 4th. June 2nd, 1953, Queen Elizabeth coronation. 1953, Joseph Stalin, Russia's dictator. President is dead. Alright, go this way. 1954, report released that says the ruling of the king's house in Africa. 1954, January 21st, first automatic submarine is made. Also, 1954, birth control pills begin. That's when they made it. 1955, Vietnam Wars begin. November 1st, 1955. May 14th, 1955, Warsaw Pact signed. 1950, Winston Churchill is re-elected. Alright, so we're going to 19. There really wasn't no events that happened major in 1956. We could not find it. So May 5th, 1957, Soviet satellites are into space. May 5, 1958, Northern radar systems begin. Alright. January 3rd, 1959, Alaska becomes a part of the United States of America. December 1, 1959, the Atlantic Treaty happens. Alright. And that was Maddie Luker's part. She really couldn't find nothing major in the 60s, but I can go on for that. In the 60s, Martin Luther King was assassinated. Our president, Kennedy, I think, was assassinated as well during the 60s. So she didn't have nothing from the 60s. Now we're going to Haley's part of the airtime table. Okay, world events, 1970. U.S. President Richard Nixon ordered an invasion on Cambodia. The Beatles break up. Also, the Egyptian President Jamal Abdel Nasser dies. The U.S. Senate repeals the Gulf of Tonkin resolution that gives President Johnson and Nixon a sweeping power in the Vietnam War. 1971, U.S. Supreme Court rules unanimously that buzzing students may be ordered to achieve racial desegregation of schools. Anti-war militants attempt to shut down the government in Washington. As many as 12,000 are arrested. Most are later released. Apollo 15 lands on the moon and uses the lunar rover vehicle for the first time. The environment group, Greenpeace, is founded. 1972, President Nixon makes an unpresidential 8-day visit to communist China and meets with Mao Zedong. 5 men are caught breaking in a Watergate complex with the Democratic Party officer, the start of the Watergate scandal. 11 Israelites are killed. at the Munch Olympic Games. And I meant elites. Sorry, I meant athletes. My bad. Thinking of the Bible. All right. U.S. playing bombs North Vietnam on Christmas Day. Sad, sad day. 1973, the U.S. signed a peace pact and chose to pull out of Vietnam. Bombing of Cambodia stops, ending a 12-year of U.S. combat in Southeast Asia. Supreme Court rules on Roe versus Wade, legalizing abortion. The mobile phones are invented. Israel and the Arab states fight for Israel. And the packet, forgot. All right, next one. 1974, the House of Judiciary comments indicates President Richard Nixon is impeached over the Watergate scandal. Although he wasn't really impeached, he just stepped down for what he did. Second, the 19-year-old daughter of Patricia Hees of publisher Randolph Hearst is kidnapped, and later she is photographed robbing a bank with her captors. 1975, North Vietnamese enter Saigon. The last group of Americans are evacuated by helicopter at the last minute. Bill Gates and Paul Allen found Microsoft Corporation's 3 of Nixon's aides are found guilty at the Watergate scandal. 1976, the United States celebrates the making of a 200-year nation. The Vikings 2 spacecraft land on Mars. Apple's computer is founded by Steve Jobs and Stephen Wozniak. 1977, here we go. Scientists reports genetic engineering techniques to make insulin. Elvis Presley found dead. South Africa anti-activist Stephen Biko dies in police custody. The movie Star Wars is released to great acclaim in the box office. 1977. Right. 1978. Egypt President Anwar Sadat and Israel Prime Minister Machin begins to sign a framework of peace. California votes in the referendum as a Proposition 13 and cut the property tax by 60%. 1979, in Iran, the Shah leaves the country after years of turmoil. In November, Iranian militants seized the U.S. embassy in Tehran and hold hostages. In December of 1979, the Soviets troops invade Afghanistan to prop up communist leader. 1980, in response to the Soviets' invasion of Afghanistan, Ronald Reagan is elected president over Jimmy Carter, in part because of the disappointment over his handling Iran. John Lennon of the Beatles is shot dead in New York City. Bye-bye, Beatles. Yo! 1981, an agreement frees 52 hostages held in Tehran since 1979. President Reagan nominates Judge Sandra Day O'Connor as the first woman in the Supreme Court. The cable channel MTV is launched. Bad Bunny, baby. 1982, Great Britain defeats Argentina in a war over an island. Israel invades Lebanon to attach the PLO, the Palestine Liberation Organization. Alright. Soviet leader Leonid Brezhnev dies and exceeds by Yuri Apul. 1983, astronauts. Sazarat becomes the first American woman in space. Wow. Back to it. The U.S. invades the tiny island of Grenada. A terrorist explosion in Beirut kills 237 United States Marines. God bless their souls. 1984. Oh, that's the year I've been waiting for. You know, the Tigers win their 4th World Series championship. Okay. Also, that same year, many people don't know, but Michael Jordan was drafted. Alright, so here we go. India's Prime Minister, Indian Prime Minister Gandhi is assassinated by two bodyguards. December, December, Apple introduces a personal computer with a geographic user interface. 1985, Soviet leader Konstantin Chamenko dies and replaces young Mikhail Gorbachev. Scientists announced the discovery of the whole ozone layer of the Antarctic, and art grills starch over the sexism and racism in the World Museum. 1986, here we go, here close. 1986, an explosion of the nuclear plant in the USSR spreads radiation over US Europe. Also, the Nintendo introduces the Game Boy. US House kills Reagan's Star Wars anti-missile program. 1987, the U.S. Supreme Court rules Rotary clubs must accept women members. DNA is used in criminal court case for the first time. The Simpsons are introduced on the Tracy Ullman Show. 1988, George Bush is elected U.S. president. The U.S. and Canada reach a free trade agreement. A terrorist bomb destroyed the Pan Am 787 over Loughborough, Scotland, killing 259 people on board and 11 on the ground. First computer virus is reported. The first virus. Not a virus from like a cough, a computer virus. All right, 1989. In China, more than a million demonstrate on the square democracy for the first time. Chinese leader hesitates, but then Chinese army attacks. Thousands are killed. The Soviet Union withdraws its troops from Afghanistan. Also in Poland, the political party Union Communist in the country first free election. 1990, Iraq invades Kuwait and seizes oil assist. The Cold War officially ended as the United States and the USSR, which is now known as Russia, negotiate arm accords. Also, the Hubble Space Telescope is launched, a really important thing. Also, leaders of 34 European nations proclaim a united Europe. All right, 1991, the U.S. and allies win the Persian Gulf War against Iraq. Also, communist hardliners attempt to overthrow Gorbachev, but the Rugu fails. 15 separate republics. Also, South Africa parliament overturns laws. 1992, President Bush declared a formal end of the Cold War. Bill Clinton is elected the United States president. Los Angeles erupts in the riot of Rodney King is being beaten by police. Prince Charles and Lady Diana separate. The divorce for 4 years later. You know what I'm saying? 1993, the year it was me. Ooh, like that rap, baby. You know me. Yeah. Okay. The European Union is ratified. The U.S. becomes involved in trying to stop the authentic cleansing of former Yugoslavia. Fire kills 72 religious cult members in Waco, Texas. South Africa adopts majority rule constitution. 1994, the Hubble Space Telescope first ends. The find confirmed in 2001. Football star O.J. Simpson is arrested for the killing of his wife and friend. Ronald Goldman. Also, in that same year, I believe, Russia attacks the Republic of Chechnya after museums their attempt to secede. Also, 1995, Timothy McVeigh bombs the Oklahoma City building. O.J. Simpson is found not guilty of murdering his wife and friends. In Israel, Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin is killed after a peace rally. Sony demonstrates a flat screen TV. 1996, here we get it. This is me now, alright? 1996, Summer Olympics in Atlanta, United States begin. Also, the Child Protection portion of the Communication Act 1996 is struck down as too broad by the U.S. federal court. 1997, I believe 1997 was the year that the Bulls won. Yeah, they did win that year. U.S. President Bill Clinton bars federal funding for research on human cloning. U.S. rapper B.I.G. is killed by a drive shooting in L.A. The 69th Academy Award, hosted by Bill Crystal, are held in Shrine in Los Angeles, California. Also, San Diego, California, 39 Heaven Gate, massive suicide at their compound. 1998. 1998. Okay, 1998. Um, the president line is declared unconstitutional by United States federal judge. Also, Larry Wayne Harris of the Aeon Nation and William are arrested. 2000, the year I was born. You know what I'm saying? The year I was born, that's one fact. All right. January 31st, Alaska Airlines Flight 261 crashed in the Pacific Ocean, killing 88 people on board. The rap metal band Rage Against the Machine played in front of the Wall Street. Also, Super Bowl. The St. Louis Rams win the NFL championship for the first time since 1951, defeating Tennessee Titans 23-16. November 4, the Arizona Diamond 2001, 9/11. The Arizona Diamondbacks defeat the New York Yankees in 7 games. November 13th, in such of World War II, U.S. President George W. Bush signed an executive order allowing military tribunal against foreigners. 2002, kidnapped on Wall Street reporter Daniel. Also, Utah, the U.S. wins 10 gold, 13 silver, and 11 bronze medal. The Winter Olympics happened in Salt Lake City. Super Bowl, the New England Patriots beat the St. Louis Rams in New Orleans. 2004, WNBC helicopter crash at the Flappers in Brooklyn, New York. An American civilian contractor in Iraq. Also, May 26th, Terry Nichols was convicted by an Oklahoma state court on a murder charge. 2005, 2005, baby. Aight. 2005. Okay, 2005. Yeah, March 15th, the winner of 2005, a lake occurred in the Bashan Valley and National Park. It destroys. What happened is that there was a fire and it caught fire in a national park here in Texas. March 23rd, the United States. They 11th district appeal refuses by a vote of 2-1 to stop Terry Chavez by not ordering a rescission of her feeding tube. It's weird. 2005. AOL agrees to pay customers as much as $25 million for settled claims. Vice President Dick Cheney, shortness of breath and visits a hospital for the same. In the White House, also, the U.S. government reports a wholesale inflation of 2005. 2007, U.S. warships bombs village where Islamic military had sent on a base June 2nd. 4 people are charged with a terror plot to blow up JFK International Airport in New York City. The Valley aggressors were destroyed by Midway. Also, in that same year, WWE wrestler Chris Bennett, his wife Nancy Bennett, and son Daniel are found dead as a result of a murder-suicide that took place over the previous weekend. 2008, August, an aircraft crashes in Guatemala, killing 10 people. Also, a Category 2 and kills 7 United States, making it Western also that same year. March, then we're gonna go to 2000. I didn't have nothing. I can name 2010. 2010. it was in 2010, I had my dog. I bought my dog Joshy. Also, in 2010, the San Francisco Giants won their championship. Um, the Lakers won their championship in 2010. Also, Barack Obama is president at that time. 2010, I skipped 08 and 09. Sorry about that. Minus points on that. I did not talk about 08, 09. 2011. 2011. I believe. Oh yeah, 2011. Right. The St. Louis Cardinals won the championship. Also that same year, LeBron conquers his first championship. Well, the 2011-12 season also. All right. All right. 2013. 2013. 2013. Boston wins the World Series. Also, that same year, President Obama is still president. 2014. hold up. 2014. I got facts for y'all. Alright. 2014. Oh, okay. The Spurs win the title. April 1st, General Motors CEO Myra Barron testified in Congress about her cars and killing 13 people of death. Also, April 3rd, Governor Phil Bryant of Mississippi signed a controversial bill that will allow individuals for business to deny service of anyone. We go to 2015. 2015, a federal judge strikes down Nebraska's ban for same-sex marriage. Later, I think in 2016, that's when Barack Obama passed a gay marriage for people who are gay to get married also. But back in 2015, a Missouri gunman identifies Jerry L. Williams to shoot two police in front of the headquarters. 2016, here we go, the year that just happened. 2016, the Cubs win the title. The Warriors lose against Cleveland that year. Also, in that same year, Donald Trump is our... no. Donald Trump wins the presidency in 2016. And that happened in 2017. It was a great year. Trump is our president. He's the 45th president of all time. 2016, 2017. Also, the Golden State Warriors won the title that year. And... Taylor baseball, we win our district. We win our league, and Terry got a girlfriend that same year. Yeah, Terry did get a girlfriend. All right, we out.